Hey, sup everybody, Super King Ghidorah here. Welcome to the Dinosaur Diaries. I am your host. And as you could tell by the title, I forgot a dinosaur in the H category. I skipped straight to Herrerasaurus when I was supposed to do Herrerasaurus. So we're going to rectify that by doing Herrerasaurus, and then I'll get back on track by finally resuming the alphabet and getting to Kentrosaurus. So without further ado, let's get started and study Herrerasaurus Ischigualastensis.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Herrerasaurus to the park.
Okay, so Herrerasaurus means Herrera's lizard. Its diet is obviously carnivorous, as you can see here in the exhibit. It shares with other fellow South American dinosaurs, such as Giganotosaurus in the background. It had a length of 6 meters, which is about 20 feet. It weighed about 350 kilograms, which is about 770 pounds. Its location in real life is Argentina, but it could be both found on Isla Nublar and Isla Sorna at the time. Birth type is A. Ooh, we grumpy today, aren't y'all? Birth type is A, of course. Movie appearances is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom as a skull. I'm trying to remember where that was. I don't even remember that. Notable game appearances would be Jurassic Park the game, Jurassic Park 3 Park Builder, Lego Jurassic World, and here in Jurassic World Evolution. Now, Herrerasaurus was one of the oldest and most primitive theropods or meat-eating dinosaurs, though in its day it was relatively hyper-advanced. Its body displayed many of the same features of the later theropods. It walked on its hind legs, which sported feet with 5 digits, with the middle 3 being able to bear weight, and its arms ended in long 5-digit hands, with the first 3 ending in powerful claws used for grasping prey. Its teeth, like those of most theropods, were shaped like blades and had knife-like serrations running up the front and down the back. Its lower jaw had a special hinge about halfway along its length. This joint would have helped Herrerasaurus to better hold on to struggling victims. Many later theropods also had this hinge, and some scientists consider the Herrerasaurus to be the more carnivorous primitive member of the Prosauropoda family. Interesting. And that's a little, if you don't know, like, that little carnivorous theory, like, there was some prosauropods that were, like, carnivorous, or was it more omnivorous or something like that, before they had switched to a more herbivorous diet and grew in size. It continues to say that although Herrerasaurus, oh god, are they all in the trees? Okay, we'll stick with you. It continues to say that although Herrerasaurus shared the basic body design of the future rulers of the Earth, like Allosaurus, Giganotosaurus, and Tyrannosaurus, it lived during the Triassic period, a time when the dinosaurs were not the most powerful animals on Earth. Herrerasaurus had to run away from the much larger Saurosuchus, a giant land-dwelling crocodile relative, and the even larger Phaseolosuchus tenax, which was the largest meat-eater in Argentina during the beginning of the Mesozoic era. Now, we're going to jump into a little bit of the story, for the Jurassic Park franchise. And it says that at least 4 Herrerasauruses were created by engine inside their compound on Isla Sorna and shipped to Isla Nublar, where they lived in their own paddock. But the animal was never seen on screen. On the map, Herrerasaurus' enclosure is located at the far northwestern end of the island, where the tourist route does not connect. This population went extinct between the 1993 incident and the 1994 cleanup. Engine did, however, save 60% of the dinosaur's genome. It also says that Herrerasaurus was apparently subjected to cruelty in 2018. However, a fossil skull of Herrerasaurus is seen in the Lockwood Manor of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And they show it like with Claire, Maisie, and Owen and stuff, but I must have glossed over that because I don't remember that. Now, this next little story bit is for the game, the Telltale game, Jurassic Park, the game. In where it states, Herrerasaurus was created by Engine inside their compound on Isla Sorna, where they were taken care of by the workers there at young age. Dr. Laura Sorkin believed that they were created to be a safe alternative to velociraptors, since the raptors proved to be too difficult to handle and were said not to be as intelligent. Like all of Engine's clone theropods, the Herrerasaurus clones have pronated hands. They also lack the fourth and fifth fingers that the animals had in real life. Which you can see here, they don't have the fourth and fifth digit either, I don't think. No, they don't. Their third digit at like almost similar to what might be considered an opposable thumb. Like, well, not the third, but the first digit. But no, they don't have the 5 digits like they do on the fossil record. The Herrerasaurus clones had a bright red body with dark red stripes and white underbellies and some yellow patches. They roamed in packs, and their willingness to pursue their prey over long distances made them highly dangerous. When those on Isla Sorna reach a certain age, they would be shipped to the neighboring island Isla Nublar in the Herrerasaurus paddock of Jurassic Park, which they were planned for the phase 1 of the park. At the time of the Isla Nublar incident of 1993, the Herrerasaurus living in Jurassic Park were not fully grown. Herreras was in the Jurassic Park brochure as an attraction for phase 1. When Dennis Nedry disabled Jurassic Park security, Herrerasaurus along with many other dinosaurs were able to freely go outside of their paddocks. Herrerasaurus had very little involvement in the incident, and farthest they were known to go outside the paddock was near the Bone Shaker roller coaster. This pack attacked Dr. Jerry Harding, his daughter Jess Harding, and their captor Nema as they tried to use the Bone Shaker as a way down. They jump onto the roller coaster cars but are successfully fended off, thrown off into the jungle below. It is unknown if they survived the fall, but with having hollow bones and diminutive size, it's highly unlikely. That's what I was about to say. And the height that they fell to, they did not survive. One even technically got hit by one of those poles that was jutting out, which technically in real life would have impaled it. But since it was, technically on the more side of a children's game, they didn't survive. It is also unknown if there were any existing and surviving populations on Isla Nublar after the Nublar incident of 1993, or if there were any on Isla Sorna after Hurricane Clarissa. Well, I doubt that, since the one for the actual Jurassic Park franchise said they went extinct. Now, for this game appearances, we have Jurassic Park 3 building where Herrerasaurus can be created in. We have Lego Jurassic World where Herrerasaurus is listed on the Isla Sorna map seen in the game but does not physically appear. And here in Jurassic World Evolution, where Herrerasaurus was added to the game on April 17th in the Carnivore Dinosaur Pack. Now we have a little toy line for it where it says a Herrerasaurus figure will be featured in the toy line for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. This has been the first time Herrerasaurus has ever physically appeared in a toy set. The toy varsity's resemblance to the Jurassic Park Tale, the game version. That's what they based it off. They based it off the Telltale game version of it. Oh, look at this. We have some behind the scenes, something we actually haven't had in a while, with the Dinosaur Diaries for these newer inclusions such as Acrocanthosaurus and such. The behind the scenes goes to say that There is no evidence that mosquitoes existed during the Triassic period. However, scientists have found amber from that period, meaning that Herrerasaurus must have been created using DNA from drops of blood or pieces of flesh preserved in amber. And that's an interesting concept right there. Now, bizarrely, the Herrerasaurus sounds in Jurassic Park the game seem to be a slowed down version of the Velociraptor calls. Jerry Harding claims the clone Herrerasaurus are classified as early theropods. However, a study by Barron, Norman, and Barrett has found that Herrerasaurus was more closely related to sauropodomorphs like Brachiosaurus. That said, this study has much against it. Interesting. So, it seems to be that Herrerasaurus is a very interesting animal to say the least. And as with all the others, a worthy inclusion, especially as far as the Jurassic Park franchise and lore go about. And with that being said, people, this has been the Dinosaur Diaries for Herrerasaurus. I hope you enjoyed it, as this feisty little predator scampers about. And, as always, I'll be seeing you all later. Peace, people.